Just see skulls. You know,
skulls are cracking. Indeed, you're coming off of a fucking gigantic victory, man, over Renan Barão, who was just a little while ago consensus top 3 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, man. That was a big victory.
Yeah. I think that's before USADA. You know, coming in, and I feel like it's on level playing fields, and you kind of wonder who would be champions.
For people who don't know what we're talking about, USADA, the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, was hired by the UFC to clean up the sport, and god damn, bodies are dropping.
Massive, dude. Massive bodies are dropping. I watched the documentary on the cyclist, Lance Armstrong, and just watch how that guy just lied and manipulated his way, and, you know, people were just calling the smoke, and a long time before that, and then you know, here comes Nowitzki, who's a pretty like scary dude. If you ever met him, nice as
very nice
as
guy,
could be, awesome dude. But you know, he means business, man.
He's does really mean trying business.
To catch the cheaters, and I'm actually happy because I've always taken pride in being a natural man, and if I feel like you need to start pumping steroids, maybe it's time for you to get out, you know. But I love it, you know.
Well, Lance Armstrong's defense, that entire sport was dirty. That's a different sport. Because if you, like, it's really crazy because all the years he won, they, like, took his titles away, right?
Yes.
And while he still has all those, he's been on the podcast. I talked to him. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
But he was in a bad spot. If they took his title away and they gave it to the next person that didn't test positive, it'd be 18th place. That's how dirty that sport is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A dirty, dirty, dirty sport.
Yeah.
And I was asking him, I was like, well, what, you know, he doesn't know what they're doing today. But I'm like, well, how are they doing it today if they're still breaking records? He's like, we'll find out one day. We'll find out eventually.
Yeah.
You know, one day that they're going to figure out what the fuck these people are doing. But Nowitzki was explaining all the weird little loopholes that people are finding, like testosterone supplementation that comes from animals instead of from wild yams. Did you know that that's how they catch them?
Yeah. No, I've heard of people doing stuff like that, but I mean that just seems insane. I mean, last time we were on the show, you were talking about how someone was pulling out their blood and refrigerating it. And, and it was that doping, basically, like EPO.
That is still going on. That's definitely still going on. And apparently, the way they're supposed to be able to test that, like, you're not supposed to use an IV, right?
Yep.
And the reason why you're not supposed to use an IV is that somehow or another, through intravenous fluids, you can mask the effects of doping. So they also have been able to detect minuscule plastic particles from the tubes that they use to put IV fluids back into your body.
Yep.
They've been able to detect those, apparently, but no one's ever been caught for that. So that's what they would do. They would either use blood, that's your own blood, or in Lance Armstrong's case, a lot of other people were taking EPO, which makes your body produce more blood. But I think guys to this day are probably still putting blood back into their body.
That's insane.
It gives you an advantage, you know? And
that's kind of scary. You know, I mean,
it's scary.
Cutting drastic weight, and then you're pulling blood, and then, you know, with everything going on.
Well, I know a dude that walked into a fighter's dressing room, hotel room, and they had bags of blood in the hotel room. They pulled his blood out so he could make weight.
Yeah, you were telling me that last time.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's freaky.
That's freaky.
Yeah.
Because that's not sanitary. You're not in a hospital. You're in some hotel room where people have been farting and shooting loads all over the place. And
who knows what the fuck? Shit all over the walls, yeah.
I mean, you're just going to fucking take your blood out in that environment? Like, that's creepy, man.
Yeah. That was like, you said that was like a long time ago, too.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Well, people have been, they've been definitely cheating forever.
Yeah,
But now we're seeing the effects of it. Like, people's physiques are changing. The way they fight is changing. The way they look.
Their jaw.
Yeah, everything about them. Their attitude, like their confidence. Like, some of these guys, like, they're becoming different human beings.
Yeah. I mean, the level playing field, people are getting knocked out. You know, their bodies are changing, and they're seeing that their fight styles. Guys are going undefeated, and just all these rampages. You're like, man, he must be in great shape. He's just killing it in the 5th round, and now he can't get past round 1, 2. You know, and you're just like, wow.
Yeah, in the end, technique is king, right? Technique and training and heart and courage and cardio. Yeah, you look at a guy like Mighty Mouse, where he fought Bagutinov, and Bagutinov, he out cardioed the guy, beat his ass, especially going into the stretch, was just completely outworking him. And at the end of the fight, Bagutinov pops hot for EPO.
Yep.
So even though this guy was on drugs, Mighty Mouse's technique and cardio and just his ability to understand how to pace himself through a 5-round fight.
Yeah. No, Mighty Mouse he's interesting. I know you've been a big fan of him, and I've always enjoyed watching that guy. I mean, I can't fight like that guy, but to watch some of his techniques and the way he uses angles and footwork and how he lures you in his clinch game is nasty.
He's insane.
That dude's just nasty.